Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm back with another video. Today we're gonna be reacting to IShowSpeed again. This is like, I think this is like a month. This video is a month old, but it's basically how, China influencers, basically the whole media in China reacted to Speed. Because we only saw like the side of America's side, you know what I'm saying, with like Speed and stuff. Obviously, China's always been lit, always will be lit. But yeah, let's check it out.
Streaming in China adventure, and if you think they just made a big splash over here, you got another thing coming. What if I told you what you think you know about his China tour is just the tip of the iceberg? His trip was filled with drama that only Chinese people could see. So today I want to reveal the raw, unfiltered Chinese internet's reaction that most Western audiences never witnessed. Behind the scenes moments like Speed being nicknamed hyperthyroid bro, the ill-intended shit-stirring interpreter, the disappointing
Hyper what? What's a hyper?
Behind the scenes moments like Speed being nicknamed
hyperthyroid, what?
Thyroid bro, the ill-intended shit-stirring interpreter, the disappointing last stop, and what happened to Uncle after Speed left. All of this sparked intense controversies on Chinese social media, so let's dive into it.
他是国外最有影响力的网红之一。甲亢哥每场直播动手超过所有的媒体的影响。
I'm really thankful for Speed and for every single one of you.
But before we get to all the big drama and the general public's response, let's talk about some official Chinese media outlets because they embraced Speed's visit. It was celebrated. I'm talking unprecedented levels of attention for a young foreign influencer, okay? A lot of people were surprised by the apparent lack of official...
Bro, this man Speed got like really high emotion, bro. Everywhere he goes, he has motion, bro. Like, and he makes it to their news outlet. It was just insane.
Monitoring during Speed's
just went to the news in China.
But, of course, the government knew exactly what was happening. The Foreign Affairs Ministry officially
Bro,
commented...
just recently, he made a video with the president of FIFA.
直播全景展现一个没有剪辑、滤镜的真实状态，欢迎更多外国朋友走进春天里的中国。
While state media CCTV featured extensive coverage.
在吃火锅时被辣出了表情包。
China is becoming increasingly confident to show both the good and the bad without too many filters to some extent. Yes, some areas of the country remain much more restrictive. Had he gone to certain places within Xinjiang or Tibet, it would have looked very different. But yeah, newsflash, you can indeed freely visit China. There are no fake tours like in North Korea with people following you every step if you're a normal tourist. That's why they've just recently opened visa-free visits to so many countries.
Under a German passport, visa-free, it's the best.
Over 20 million foreigners entered China, up more than 112% year-on-year.
They want ordinary people to see the real China, breaking down some of the caricatures that have shaped people's impression.
But they said it's visa-free, so I could just book a trip to China, which I really do, because one part I really want to check out is Chongqing, because that's like the cyberpunk city, and Beijing, and Hong Kong, and Senegal, and starts with a B. I forgot how to say it.
For decades. It's free publicity, and Speed delivered that brilliantly.
这个 YouTuber 哈，远超过所有的媒体的影响。
Now, what was the general reaction to his trip? For those who watched from China, it was overwhelmingly positive. His journey showcased lots of China's bright side and significantly boosted the country's international image, making Chinese citizens very proud. I know there are tons of people who seriously underestimate how big of a deal this was. Love him or hate him, you can't just say, oh, big deal, some dude running around China like a madman, who cares? You're wrong. China cares. They care a lot. Getting unfiltered China in front of millions of young Westerners is a huge win for them.
难怪美国网友震惊，我在难闻的纽约地铁里刷不出文字，你却在中国时速350千米的高铁上 2K 直播不掉线。
No amount of marketing dollars could replace this. Even in our neck of the woods, the media covered it overall pretty positively.
Speed's China tour is going viral for unforgettable moments over the weekend. He also performed that backflip there on the Great Wall of China, impressing fans and Chinese media.
Perhaps, maybe, hopefully, the day has come when people think of China, they will finally not just think of, Beijing leadership or military parades, but faces of real Chinese people like Uncle, Master Liang, or the Shaoxing girl who sounds like Pikachu. The outpouring of gratitude wasn't just because Speed portrayed China positively, but due to
Now, real thing though, there was legit a propaganda, bro. Like, I think I made a video of this before, but like, Western media tries to spread a propaganda that China isn't advanced, that China isn't near our level. They're completely wrong. China is advanced, bro. I don't know if they're more advanced than us in terms of military, but I know they're truly getting up there, because China definitely has to be more money though. Actually, I don't even know. I gotta look up the numbers, bro. But they're definitely good in the economy, bro. Especially since everything is made from China.
his genuine personality and respectful approach.
Honestly, seeing an American connect with Chinese people like this, it gave me so much hope, especially with how crazy the world is right now.
I talked about that a little bit already when I covered his trip to Shaolin, but to be honest, this connection he has to the locals isn't just unique to China. Wherever he travels, he transforms encounters into wholesome moments that bridge cultures. No other way to put it. So, the positive reaction was expected and aligned with what the CCP wants, but is there another side to the story? Despite his massive views, Speed isn't actually well known in China at all. At least he wasn't until now. His followers represent just a tiny fraction of China's vast online culture. There's no YouTube, no Google, no Facebook, no X, so many other sites. They don't exist in China. They're not accessible. They got their own stuff going on anyways. They got Weibo, Kuaishou, Douyin, Bilibili, whatever. And before you say it, no, VPNs are not officially allowed, and using them can result in a fine or even in jail.
If you're coming to China, you gotta make sure you can't access all the internet that you want. So make sure you have a VPN ready.
A lot of Chinese people do use it. I bet there are a bunch of Chinese people watching right now using it, huh? Caught you, huh? Or subscribe before I snitch. But you're probably gonna be okay if you keep it low-key and to yourself. But being so openly pro-internationalism inside the Chinese internet, that can be problematic for Chinese citizens who might be labeled as pretentious or traitors. The phrase 崇洋媚外, worshipping foreign things, captures this sentiment, often accompanied with a, if you love the West so much, go live there. Oh, you don't like this particular thing about our country? Why don't you leave? You will find similar stupidity in most other countries too. So our first big L in the chat was the center of Chinese people's wrath right from the start. Miles Moretti. Antonio Margariti. This Chinese-American Vietnamese influencer known for promoting Chinese culture through his floral outfits and street interviews faced severe backlash when he served as Speed's translator in Beijing. He told Speed his fans were screaming like animals and was accused of deliberately mistranslating to embarrass Speed. Sorry.
Bro, I know there was a bunch of mistranslation. I know that was like one of the biggest like topic off Speed's like whole trip is that his translators were like mistranslating most of the stuff that were interpreted, like especially when he was trying to get a haircut. A translator said that the barber said, well, the barber originally said was, I can't work on your hairstyle because I'm not particularly like used to it, and he doesn't want to mess up Speed's hair. And then the translator translated, oh, he said your hair's too nappy or something like that. I forgot exactly what it was, but it was something like
his locks can be delicate for me to cut. I don't want to ruin it. And how did he translate it? Huh, Miles?
What? He said your hair's too raggedy. You can't.
Really?
I thought it was nappy. Yeah, raggedy. Sorry, I messed up. But yeah, this is the video I was talking about. He said raggedy, not nappy. Sorry. Well, that's what the translator said, but the actual dude said he didn't want to ruin it.
You devious, two-faced, lying little.
And you see the way he smiles too.
You devious, two-faced, lying little beautiful man. No homo. And his apology that he posted on April 1st, you know, explaining his playful and teasing humor, actually backfired on him. The damage was done. The Chinese government might leave you alone, but proud Chinese citizens will come for you if you're disrespectful. As a fellow content creator, I totally get your point, your idea of trying to spice up the stream, but dude, making people sound rude to Speed isn't fair to anyone involved.
So you're saying my hair is fucked up, basically? No, I mean, he's not doing a direct translation. I was doing a direct translation.
That type of stuff doesn't make the streams more fun. It's just weird, and you're baiting for controversy on your own ass. And to be honest, I don't really know Speed. He wasn't on my radar until he went to China. He doesn't need that kind of stuff to make his streams entertaining. Let that be his concern. How about that? Drama number 2. The Toilet Channel in Green Goblin, Mango TV. Changsha, the last stop of Speed's visit and intended grand finale, infuriated Chinese netizens more than anything else before. It all started with this restaurant chain owner who came to leech publicity. Amboss. Unlike Uncle's wholesome persistence, this weird guy was aggressive, annoying, intrusive, like a spoiled brat, even threatening Uncle on camera. Amboss, move, or I'm gonna show up at your door.
俺们不死，我们都是同行，我们要相互尊重。你给我起来，不然的话，明天我去重庆找你。
Bruh, big L for tiny mafia boy. Chinese internet users ruthlessly mocked his appearance as Nanyu Lao Shao, which usually just means everybody. It's kind of a genius word, Chinese word build. It literally means male, female, old, young. And calling him Green Goblin, making AI memes of him. Also, they review bombed his already struggling restaurants. Yikes. Shout out to his family.
This man just seems like that type, bro. Like, if I were to put a word and I would describe an American version of this, there's a lot of people that comes up to mind, but I just don't know their names.
That's what you get, bro. I think a lot of people genuinely underestimated how many people are watching. Bro, it's unreal. 150,000 people watching live. The scripted event host, Mango TV, also faced severe criticism. This regional broadcaster, nicknamed the Toilet Channel for its logo resembling a toilet seat and shitty content, was criticized for its boring and uninspired show segments that heavily commercialized Speed in a way that's kind of contrary to his authentic persona, limiting and constraining him. So what we just talked about.
Bro, I just realized this man said the logo is shaped like a toilet and their contact they make is shit. That's a W diss.
What is Chinese people criticizing other Chinese people in his streams? Now we're gonna talk about the spicier stuff because there was hate too. Let's just be honest about it, okay? Among the negative reactions, I encountered the term 媚黑, flirt with the black. A derogatory term made to shame people who praise or associate too much with black people in China. Also used in other capacities that I prefer not to speak about. Maybe you can imagine. But for real, when I lived in China, I lived alongside a group of African cultural exchange students, and I saw firsthand how they got treated, how Chinese people spoke about them behind their backs. And these were not sad individual instances, it was across the board. And from the stories they told me, there is a lot of racism in China, in particular towards black people. Can't wait for the denial and deflect.
But that's here in America too, bro. That's everywhere. There's racism everywhere, bro. Not just China. Even here in America, bro, and everywhere around the world.
In the comments. If you live in China and you're honest, you're gonna say true. If you live in China and you don't know anything about the West, you're gonna say, what about your country? I don't wanna get into this stuff, but the societal integration and tolerance of black people in China versus the West is not even remotely the same ballpark. If you disagree with this, you are delusional and it means you haven't seen both sides. Sorry, facts. Anyways, moving on. This is one of the reasons why I find IShowSpeed's visit so incredibly awesome. For Chinese people too. Exposure breeds tolerance. And seeing a black guy bring this much unprecedented attention and love to them, I think can only be good for race relations. Anyway, Chinese internet has a word for every niche group they deem unfavorable. In this particular case, internet lingos like 转子, 直人, 香蕉人, and 媚黑, all used for people who are deemed to praise the outside world too much. And forget about racism against foreigners. Even regional stereotyping within the country is a national pastime. Dude, the Shaolin Temple is in Henan. That province has a bad rap. People from Henan are considered scammers, thieves, liars. But in person, and this has to be said, even the people who dislike foreigners in general will highly likely treat visitors respectfully due to 面子, face. Don't want to explain the whole thing. In China, saving face, maintaining social image. The only real social credit in China. Unless. Online, however, anti-outsider attitudes are more common, with very hateful speech sometimes treated as casual.
That's everywhere, bro. Not just China, it's everywhere.
Jokes. I'm just very happy that
especially online when you can hide behind the screen, bro. You know how many people be hiding behind the screen, bro? They'll never show their face.
They use Speed's massive platform to like jump into his streams and say some really messed up stuff. I'm scared that will happen eventually, but I'm happy it didn't happen in China. So now the traffic is king side of China. According to a Chinese staff member in Speed's entourage, most plans were made within just one day based on Speed's personal interests. This enabled authentic meetups with content creators like Tony from LC Signs, I love him, and the dude from the Super Idol song.
因为他刚刚来的时候，他就已经说过，表达过说想见到我。
And Rege, the Donald Trump guy.
Grab you in the trap.
These were people Speed genuinely wanted to meet. But what about Da Zhangwei, creator of the Nay Nay song? He's at a different level of fame in China and deeply entangled with Mango TV. Too much risk when interacting with Speed. You can see him playing it very safe, avoiding singing the Nay Nay part during his performance, showing respect and understanding of the context of the meme. Speed even noticed this and repeatedly told him to, say it, bro, say it, say it!
Say it! Say it, John Wei!
He tried his best during the corporate feast, toasting with officials and business executives, a cringe but authentic part of Chinese culture when you're famous, by the way. Da Zhangwei also tried to smooth over the moment when Speed asked for Uncle, who was running after their cars on foot.
Oh, you left? He's tired.
Oh, 你看了，人都 tired 了。You never tired.
No, I don't get tired.
He did what he could as a nice guy who cared about Speed, but it just wasn't as natural as interactions with less famous, less corporate aligned influencers. Like why? Why even bother to surround Speed with so many stars that he doesn't know or should care about? While corporate partnerships aren't inherently wrong, this does highlight how traditional Chinese media is increasingly disconnected from younger audiences, chasing views without understanding how to build genuine connections. Traffic is king. 流量为王 is the mantra for companies and individuals in China. That's the golden ticket to fame and wealth. So what about Uncle? After the streams, his Rongshang braised duck became famous. But at what cost?
You stream and sell fake low quality braised goose.
你对着香港的牌子在那里播，那还我授权你们卖的吗？对不对？不是这样子吧？所以我希望大家第一不要用我的头像。
This is the local governor backing him up, promising to punish those who try to steal his brand name.
Oh, people trying to steal his. Yo, you gotta sue for sure. Sue that shit.
Yeah, in China, people will do anything for views. It's not unique to China. It's anywhere, basically. Content creation can be extremely lucrative. So I hope this video clears some things up. No, Chinese people do not feel exploited by these streams. In general, the response is overwhelmingly positive, and they loved it. And I legit think this has a positive impact for the future. Anyways, that's about it. See ya. If you want to see a deep dive into...
Hey, W Speed, W China, all the way. Let's catch you on the next one. Peace.